Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Becky White. I'm an international trade advisor for UK Trade and Investment. And I'm here today to give you an outline of the services that we offer small to medium-sized companies to help them export. I'm an international trade advisor for Staffordshire, but UKTI obviously covers the whole of the country, and there are equivalents of me in every single county across the UK. My sector specialism is creative, retail, luxury, and high-value consumer goods. Throw into that everything you like: giftware, tableware, lifestyle products. It's all here to support you. I'm going to give you an overview of what UKTI can do for you and your company to grow your exports. The overview of UKTI: we have the 12 regions of the UK, which is covered by UKTI. Then we have Northern Ireland, which is Northern Ireland Invest, the Scottish equivalent of UKTI, which is the Scottish Development Agency, and also Wales. We have a UKTI offering in Wales. So the whole of the UK is covered for your export support. What we do at UKTI, our only agenda is to see your international sales increase. We are the government's best kept secret. We don't advertise, we can't advertise, but we're here to support you to grow your export sales, and we do that in a tremendous amount of ways. We do that through advice and support, with training, development, but crucially, we do that with financial support as well. I'm going to talk to you about the different programs we offer to all different types of exporters. So I'd like you to think about right now where you are on your export journey. Most of my clients start off below the bottom rung of the ladder. They've had occasional inquiry, it's come through on email, they've ignored it. It's dealing overseas, I'm not ready for that. Great, that's no problem. We can work with you to help you address those fears as to why you feel you're not ready with it. We can help you grow your business so you can become ready to export. Then we have a program called Incubate to Export, which is where people have said, do you know what? I am ready to export. I think I can export. I need to find out more about what I can do to export. And this is where the program Incubate to Export comes on board. If I give you an example, one of my clients, they make beautiful beds for children. These are double-decker bunk beds, which they make in the shapes of double-decker buses, Land Rovers, Volkswagen camper vans. So they're big, big products. They were getting inquiries from overseas, but they didn't know how to handle them. They didn't know what to do, because again, great big huge pieces of wood painted up into beds. So they got in contact with us, and we taught them through all the challenges they would face. They were getting inquiries from the US, marvelous. They were getting about 10 inquiries a month from the US, and they were just putting them to one side. So we talked about the challenges they would face. Mattress sizes in the US are different to UK mattress sizes. So it's changing their design to accommodate those factors before addressing that market. Mattress sizes in Europe are slightly different to the UK. So it's all the things, the challenge that they had to face. Then there's things like the product was made out of wood. What tests and regulations and certificates did they have to send with their items because it was made out of wood? Which, again, depending on which borders you cross, certain certifications need to be produced. So it's those things we talked about at the start, plus their pricing points, to get them ready so that when they decided that the time was right, they were going to accept the orders from overseas, they knew what they needed to do. So, things like Incoterms. How many here have heard of Incoterms? Great. You need to speak to an ITA. We'll come on to that. But Incoterms are the terms used of how you would ship your products, who takes responsibility, but more importantly, who's paying, who takes the cost of shipping your goods overseas. So this is all the things that we, as international trade advisors, three-letter acronym ITA, are here to support you with. So this is the Incubate to Export stage. When we've gone through that and addressed those areas, we then there's a program called Passport to Export. Now this is a program which is a 12-month program, and it attracts a lot of funding. It attracts £3,000 worth of matched funding to help you grow your export sales. Now that isn't just a one-off hit, that's £3,000 to be used over a 12-month period to help you grow your export sales. And that can be on things like going to visit a market. People here today are at Spring Fair. Well, maybe you went to Maison last week, or last week, or you're going to Ambiente next week. If you're on the Passport to Export program, you can claim back 50% of your flights and accommodation to go and visit overseas markets. You may decide that you've had a successful spring fair here, you've got clients, a large group of clients perhaps in Europe, or potential clients in Europe or anywhere else, and you want to go and visit them. We can fund you to do that. Through the Passport to Export scheme, we can fund 50% of your travel and accommodation costs to go and visit those clients, well, those potential clients, and turn them into real clients. The Passport to Export scheme funding can also be used to redesign your literature for an international market and have that literature printed. It can be used to support translations of your literature or your website. So there's a lot of funding available on the Passport to Export scheme, and to be eligible for that, you have to be a small to medium-sized enterprise, creating, designing, manufacturing, or researching here in the UK, not employing more than 250 people, and with a turnover of less than 50 million. So a lot of people tend to fall into that catchment. And the program is, we work with you very intensively. So you might want to see an international trade advisor once a month, or you might actually only want to see us once every quarter. We work to your timescales, but we're always encouraging you to look at what your next step is on your export strategy. And as part of the Passport to Export scheme, we work on a strategy in the start, and that is purely a stake in the ground. This is where I am now. This is what my research has shown me. This is the route to market I want to take. And then you work around that. And you might decide, actually, my ideas and my route to market have changed now because I've been to see that show, and I think I need to do this. Or I've been to see a group of clients, and I need to do this instead. It's a fully flexible program run by you. You tell us what you want to do and how you want to do it. And we provide the funding to help you do that and the advice and support around your decisions. The next program we offer on the export journey is Gateway to Global Growth. And this is a program for people who've been exporting for between 2 and 10 years. So you might decide, well, actually, I'm not any of those bottom two, and I really am on the ladder. So you would go in at the gateway point. You've been exporting for 2 to 10 years. You have a fairly robust strategy. You just need certain advice and support on, let's say, tariff codes, duties, opening some doors, route to market, getting some contacts. Again, it's another 12-month program, which again attracts another substantial amount of funding. Currently, that funding is again £3,000 to help you go to markets, to help you visit clients, to help you do the business you need to do in the way you need to do it in overseas markets. So once you've gone past the Gateway to Global Growth, that again is a 12-month program. On the other end of that, you are becoming obviously a very experienced exporter, learned a lot of lessons on the way that we all learn. And then at the very end, we have what we call significant assists. Our time with you is always free, from the very first moment to the moment you say, we don't need you anymore. And we have very few clients that turn around and say, we don't need you. But if ever that day comes, it doesn't matter what your turnover is, what your employee levels are, we're still here to support you in whatever ways we can. So the significant assistance comes with the likes of finding trade data. If you know what your tariff code is for how you export, asking your international trade advisor, one of me, to look at, well, what are the export figures? Which countries are importing, however many hundreds of thousands of this tariff code? Show me the data, give me the information, and we can give you trade figures on who's exporting the most, which countries are exporting the most of that tariff code, and which countries are importing the most of that tariff code. Your tariff code, just for a bit of an explanation, is the way the customs officers all work. They don't use language like we do. Say, for example, a ceramic bowl or a mug or a dog collar. They use codes, because we all describe things in different ways. There is one code that describes whatever commodity or service it is that you export, and that's your tariff code. If you take nothing else away from here today, learn your tariff code, because it's the one thing that will rule your exports. You can give someone a tariff code, they can tell you exactly what the duty is going to be to import that into another country. So, if nothing else, find out what your tariff code is. If you want to know how to do that, contact your ITA. Can I have a show of hands of how many people actually know who their international trade advisor is, or how many people are actually working with UKTI at the moment? No problem, we've got a lot to go out then. Me. When I say we've got a lot of support for you, I just mentioned the programs we work on. And those programs, again, are anything from 12 months to a number of years. But these are the actual tools that we're going to use as well. And a lot of these tools attract funding for you. So I'm going to just pick out a few because there are lots to go through and just give you a little summary on each one of them. If we start with the OMIS service, this is Overseas Market Introduction Service. In essence, this is anything an overseas embassy can do for you, the British company. So if you wanted to host an event, you wanted to host a launch event at an embassy with a group of 10 people, you've got 10 buyers who are already buying from you in that market, you want them to bring some other buyers, you want to hold an event. The OMIS service would give you a quote to do that. If you wanted to find a list of distributors or agents, the OMIS service would do that for you. You would talk to an international trade advisor here in the UK. We would put you in contact with the relevant person at the embassy, and we have a triangular conversation so everyone understands what you're looking for, and we can find you agents and distributors. We can find you retail buyers. So again, if we have this profile of what you're looking for, how we can help you, and then our staff at the overseas embassies will go and find you those contacts. Now, you might just want a cold list of names, and you're going to approach them yourself. We can do that for you. You might want a list of names where our staff have approached them in the native language and ascertained interest. We can do that for you. So these are just some examples of the things we can do, and you get a quote to be able to do that in advance. The next one is the Export Communication Review, and this is a fantastic tool for so many companies. This is focusing on your online presence. A lot of us think, I'm international, I've got a page translated on my website into French or German or Chinese, therefore I'm an international business. You're not. Unless you've actually told Google or Yandex or whichever search engine has been used in that country and located yourself to come up on those search engine queries, you're invisible on the internet. And we've all fallen into this trap. I have fallen into this trap. And we have experts that come in, the consultants come in, and do a review of your whole web page. How you work, what tools you use, your back office, but also what markets you're trying to address. So the Export Communication Review gives you this opportunity. Now, this is very, very heavily subsidized by UKTI. It's £250 to have the report done. That then unlocks £3,000 worth of match funding to go and implement those recommendations. So the report you would get would outline, this is where you are now, this is where you need to be for your international markets, and here's the funding to go and get it done. So that's in addition to the funding that you get on the Passport to Export scheme and on the Gateway to Global Growth. This is an extra pot of money you get to help you internationalize your business. So if you need a translations doing as well, that can be put through there as well. You don't have to have been on the Passport program or the Gateway program to access this either. You can access all of these individually without being on the program. So there's then things called Export Market Research Scheme. An Export Market Research Scheme is, in effect, you yourself doing the work of the OMIS. You can employ UKTI staff in embassies to do the work, or you might decide, actually, no, I want to go and do that. I want to take the time out of my business and go to that market for 2 or 3 weeks and research it, speak to trade associations, speak to competitors, speak to potential customers, and get the information about what your product or service from the marketplace itself. And there's funding behind that. There's £5,000 worth of match funding for you to go and do that for yourselves. Then we have travel grants. As I mentioned before, in this sector, you might have been to Maison last week. Well, if you did, you could have had a £200 travel grant to go to Maison. It's not much, but £200 goes a long way getting to France. Or if you're going to Ambiente, you could have had a £200 travel grant to Ambiente. If you're going to the New York Gift Fair, you could have a £450 grant. In a lifetime of working with UKTI, you can get 6 travel grants. And logically, the further afield you go, the more money you get. So again, you access all of these services through an international trade advisor for your region. Then we come on to the Trade Show Access Programme, TAP. These are grants for stands at exhibitions. So these are very important to a lot of us. And in a lifetime of working with UKTI, you can have 12 grants. Those grants can range from anything from £1,200 to £3,000, and they are not matched funded. So if your stand somewhere cost you £1,500 and you've got a grant of £1,200, your stand only effectively cost you £200. 300, maths wrong there, sorry. So that's what I'm trying to explain to you. There is an incredible amount of funding available to you with UKTI. You just need to know how to access it. We run trade missions. So we take a whole sector, we take a whole creative sector and take them to a marketplace where we know they want to sell. And we offer funding to go onto these trade missions. You can use your passport or gateway money, but there is also additional funding as part of the trade mission program. And we take those, and some of them can be huge ones, which were taking place this year, 2014, with the Great Weeks, you'll see advertised out here. And some of them can be smaller ones, only sort of 8 to 10 companies, but they're all collaboratively led. So everyone has an agenda to work within, of people they want to see, buyers they want to see, stores they want to see. So it's a sector-led trade mission to be able to maximize your value of going overseas. And because it's through UKTI, most of it's held at the embassies, so we get a lot of people coming into events. It's all put on for you to grow your business. By being involved with UKTI, you can have access to masterclasses. So you might think, after you've done your incubate to export, you might think, well, actually, I feel I'm a bit weak in this area. And so you can go onto a masterclass. Again, by working with UKTI, access to masterclasses are free. They're normally £200. You can get access up to 3. You can access more, just talk nicely to your ITA. But you can access up to 3 masterclasses. These can be for anything from finance, so getting paid for exports, understanding the payment methods with exporting. They can be marketing. They can be e-commerce. They can be event skills, exhibition skills. There's a whole range of areas that the masterclasses cover to help you have the confidence to take those steps into the international marketplace. And then, again, one of the final tools we offer, if you do nothing else today apart from your tariff code, do this one as well, the Business Opportunity Alerts. Go onto the UKTI website, which is www.ukti.gov.uk, go to Export, and register for Business Opportunity Alerts. You can put in your sector and the countries you're interested in, and it will send you an email through, be it weekly or daily, however you set it up. It will send you an email through of the business opportunities that are available in your sector. If I give you an example, I had a client 2 weeks ago that had one of these alerts come through, and it was for bespoke jewellery for a Qatar museum. My client is now doing a range of sample designs for a museum in Qatar of bespoke glass jewellery. So don't think these alerts are just for the high-value opportunities for the Brazil Olympics or anything like that. They're not. They are for small to medium-sized companies. They can be very, very specific. I had another inquiry come through from New Zealand for a company who wanted a high-end tableware, bespoke tableware design on fine bone china. Well, they didn't go to the big players in the market. They wanted a small company to produce a bespoke range for them. And this came through on Business Opportunity Alerts. So it's a great way of finding information that's available out there in the marketplace for you, specific to your requirements. So tailor your search, and it will send you the emails through. I think the key message I'm trying to get over is that there is an incredible amount of support available for you, both advisory, with working with people like myself who are sector-specific in whatever region of the UK you're in, but also financially. There is a tremendous amount of support out there financially to help you export. Please unlock it, and by unlocking it, you can start that export journey. You may be thinking about it, you're obviously thinking about it, you're obviously doing it, you're here today. The message is there's support for you to help you make the bigger steps, to help you make the more challenging decisions. Anything that might be stopping you exporting right now or stopping you growing your exports, we're here to help. We're here to take the fear away from it and give you the tools you need to make those larger steps into the international arena. So please go onto the UKTI website, register for the business opportunity alerts, go onto the UKTI website, find your region, and phone the office and ask for an international trade advisor to come and speak to you. Our time with you is always free. We're here to grow your international sales. That's our only agenda as UK Trade and Investment, is to see your international sales grow, and we can do whatever we can to help you do that. If you'd like to speak to some of the advisors, there are people at the back here in the cafe area, and they're also in the right-hand side. There are my colleagues, UKTI colleagues from all over the world here. So if you'd like to make an appointment to talk to any of those about your opportunities, please go to the desk at the back on the right, and you can see the profiles. Or there is a small booklet in the cafe area which shows you the profiles of the people we have back there if you'd like to discuss any specific markets. But please, get into contact with UKTI, an international trade advisor. You won't regret it.